This is one of those rotations I'm not really too keen on flying. But that's only because I'm in a really privileged position. But sometimes you just gotta break out of a routine to put all that into perspective. Commuting is a very uncommon thing for me since I live near my home base airport. Got like a 20-minute car ride there. So I usually leave home like 3 hours before the scheduled departure time. We've got 1.5 hours before the departure time, we've got our off-block time, we've got our briefing. So I've got 1.5 hours to go up to the briefing, which is plenty. But that's not common for all the pilots out there since most of them have to commute. Especially in the US, commuting is a huge thing. But for me, like I said, it's not. And every time I have to do it, it changes up my routine quite a lot.
Depending on where you live and when the flights are scheduled, you often proceed to the airport a day in advance. That can mean you'll arrive at the hotel at 10 o'clock in the evening and sometimes have to wait until 10 p.m. the next day to get your working day started. That I really hate, since I waste a whole day sitting around a hotel room to finally get going. But rest times are one thing in aviation you always have to take care of. And this is not only done by the company, you are also responsible for this.
So when we're commuting, I can decide whether I would like to wear the uniform or not. So I prefer not to wear the uniform because simply a lot of people are gonna be looking at you a bit weird since you sit in uniform in a plane, but not in the cockpit. You're sitting next to a passenger and then they always wonder a bit. And another thing is, wearing uniform at an airport, you get thousands and thousands of questions. Not that I don't like answering those questions, but when you're commuting, you're a bit stressed out anyway, because you have to fly, you have to work, you have to do your stuff. And having thousands of questions thrown at you then is a bit weird. Another thing, in the uniform, you always represent the company, so you gotta behave accordingly. Not that I would disbehave when I'm not wearing the uniform. I like to behave from time to time. But yeah, so it's just, I would say every passenger's right, if somebody with a uniform sits next to you, that you behave accordingly.
Funny thing, yes, it is weird to be a pilot but sitting in the back as a passenger. But solely because of the reason, you know how beautiful it must be up front on such a beautiful day like that was. And of course, knowing you're going to land soon.
So we're at the airport now and I'm on my way to the crew room now to meet the other crew. So basically I'm the outsider today, full Munich crew and me from Frankfurt. And then yeah, since it's a flight out of the ordinary, you can say, I'm gonna prepare a bit earlier. I'm gonna look at Munich airport especially a bit different than at Frankfurt because I know it by heart. And yeah, so really looking forward to that flight, and you're gonna join me, as always. Ocean 1 Photo request taxi. You have the opposite, Whiskey 2, Delta 2, Echo 2, and enter via Sierra 8, Ocean 1 Photo.
Und dann hätte ich gesagt, machen wir Wetterradar bei mir, Terrain bei dir. Turbo 7 Whiskey, unchanged, flight level 70, ja?
Ja.
Taxi checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flap setting.
Conf 2.
Config 2. Radar protective windshield.
Auto.
Engine start selector.
One.
EK memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Taxi checklist completed. Line up runway 26 left, Ocean 142.
Yeah, left side.
Clear right side. Cabin crew prepare for departure. Runway 26 left, clear takeoff, Ocean 142.
Landflex war direkt, das alles fast drüber.
Checked. Thrust set. Rotate. Positive glide. Gear up. Checked. Cabin crew, prepare for landing. Bow. H1031. Seatbelts on. Minimum. I will have 950 auto brake. Or that. All chip is completed. Checked. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Or A1 or 142. Good day.
Checklist.
Then memo. Then checklist completed. Hey everyone, the flight is over. I must say, I just love those Windhoek flights. They're not too long, 3 pilots, they're just through a regular German night, like not up until like 11 or 12 a.m. in the morning. So 11 a.m., 12 p.m. And yeah, I just absolutely love them. Nevertheless, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna take a nap now and then we're gonna get the layover life started. So before we start with the layover life, there's always one thing I love to set up right after I come into the hotel. And this brings me to today's sponsor, which is NordVPN. So when you're constantly living out of hotels, switching time zones and connecting to random public Wi-Fis, you really start to care about your online security. And that's where NordVPN comes in. It's just one tap and I'm connected. Just like that, all my internet traffic is encrypted and protected. So even if somebody is trying to do shady stuff on my hotel internet, well, they out of luck with me. But NordVPN goes beyond just that. Their Threat Protection Pro protects you from all the scam websites, scammers, trackers, and even the annoying ads. The good thing is, that's all happening even if you're not connected to a VPN server. It also scans files before you download them. And if something is in them, it deletes those things before it even reaches your computer or phone. And then NordVPN can also spot fake online shops. You know, the one where 70% off your sunglasses just today. Go and buy them right now. It's important. Trust me, that's a bait. And NordVPN will protect you of those shops. And just in case your info ever leaks online, Dark Web Monitor will ping you as soon as your emails or your passwords will float around in some forums of hackers or something. And the best thing about it, it does all that quietly in the background while you debate with yourself about if you want to go to sleep or have dinner. So if you're traveling a lot, you work remotely, or you just want peace at home, go to nordvpn.com or you work. Check out their deal right now if they got a huge discount on the 2 years plan plus 4 extra months. And it's a risk-free thing. You've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. Alright, I'd say Wi-Fi secured. Let's see what the layover brings. Layovers, they couldn't be more different depending on where you're flying to. Go. First, we have the so-called minimum rotations. Calgary, Orlando, you name it. And those rotations, they're basically 24-hour rotations. That means we do not spend a lot of time there. So we arrive at really late time, especially talking about German time, 1-2 a.m. in the morning. So not everybody does something. Most of the crew just get something to eat on their own and then they go straight to their bed. And the next day, I don't know, they did some grocery shopping. You barely see them up to the pickup time, right next to the green. But even in that category, there are outliners. For example, if the schedule permits, Orlando can be up to 48, 72-hour layover, depending from where you fly to it. And as soon as the layover gets longer, the crew dynamic somehow changes really fast. Oh, that was a good one. And then suddenly you barbecue with the crew, you go at the beach, chill out there, you grab a drink with them. I don't know what it is in Orlando, if it's just a Floridian, if it's just the Florida vibe or the palm trees, but Orlando can be an awesome minimum layover get together with the crew. When Orlando hits right, it hits. That's for par, everyone, by the way. Go! Ha! Par. Then you've got the real jams, the real ones. Maldives, Mauritius, weeks to Punta Cana. Those are the real jams. Well, and as soon as you go into the briefing, you can feel how the mood instantly gets 20% better. By the way, I knocked this one in the tree, so I gotta look for it. It was one ugly hit. Where's my ball? Where them balls at? Should be here. These rotations are rare and you can feel the excitement directly in the air. It's in the crew room, the mood is way better and you're like, oh nice, we're doing this trip together. And if you're really lucky, 1 second. And if you're really lucky, you could even get a partner request. A partner request basically means you know a colleague and you both requested the same flight and you both got it and you go in a week to the Maldives or wherever you want to go. Not as nice as Malai right here. So I gotta punch this one out. Not in the water, please. Don't mess it up, Pascal. Ah, that was actually a quite nice shot. On those trips, you often see the crew sticking together. Breakfast, lunch, speech time. We're basically roommates with a sunburn. That was a nice punch out, by the way. We are here on a par 4. That was my second. I've got one more to go. And I have to go over the water back there. And usually there's always one crew member who turns out to become an event planner during the whole rotation. And he plans snorkel trips, catamaran trips, I don't know, a beach bar trip, whatever. Of course you don't have to join there, but since those rotations are really rare, you gotta make the most of them and just have a great time. It could be a bit long. Let's see. Oh, could be long. So I think a big reason why this happens or why it feels like that is because we're living in that moment on an isolated island. And so basically we are in a resort together, not in a big city where the people can scatter around and everything. So I think that's a really big reason. You're somehow locked up with each other. Well, not locked up, but you get what I mean. So I've got a little chip shot here to do, around 20 meters. That was a bit short. Roll! Roll! Oh, it's okay. That's okay. All right, that was my third shot then. One more for par. That's too hard. No! I hate golf. I am looking for my ball. Yep, I ain't going in there. Scared of snakes. I like living. A chippy shotty to go. The ground is really hard beneath it. I slipped it. Ah! Oh, why is golf so goddamn hard sometimes? Once you think you get better, and then you play another round of golf, and you just yank it everywhere. God damn it, I hate golf sometimes. All right, over the bunker, onto the flag. Why can't you be 1 meter longer on the green? I could just pick it up by now, but I like to tease myself a bit more. I'm done. The third rotation, everyone. The third kind of rotation. And that is this one, for example. A rotation where we fly from both bases, Frankfurt and Munich, for example. And we fly there multiple times, most of the times more than 7 times a week. So we have a lot of crews at the given hotel, for example, right here. That means you have a sort of crew crossover dynamic somehow. You run into people you haven't seen for months, even for years. You run into people you trained with. So it's just like a little reunion, you can say. So take my current rotation, for example. I flew in from Munich, even though I'm based in Frankfurt. The thing with Munich is the Munich CRP, so the Senior First Officer of Munich, doesn't swap crews here. That means I have a free off day while my crew flew the Victoria Falls hop there and back on the free off day of mine. So basically that feels like a win for me, since a CRP in Frankfurt never get so off day here. We always swap crew. So we basically land, swap crew, have breakfast, fly back home the other day. So yeah, it's like a win. You know what else feels like a win? That par 4. Oh, I love it. Rotations like this one are great. You basically get best of both worlds. You can either chill in your room, grab a book, disconnect, chill on your laptop, whatever you would like to do. Get dinner on your own. Or you can go down to the pool area. We've got a little pool in the hotel here. And you meet plenty of people there, chit-chat for around 5 minutes, and boom, you've probably got dinner plans with at least 5 people, which makes life so easy here in Windhoek, for example. So plans here in Windhoek, they form quickly and spontaneously, which makes life really easy here as a crew member. So talking about spontaneous here, around 150 to the green, I'm gonna try to spontaneously put an 8-iron on there, see if it works out or not. Felt about right. Let's see. Draw! Short. A bit optimistic, hitting an 8-iron, 150 meters, right? I thought, because of the density altitude here, because we are at 1,700 meters of height above mean sea level, so that's quite high up. So I thought the ball would fly longer, but probably I'm gonna should have hit an 7-iron. So back to the planning spontaneability in Windhoek. Of course, it gets easier the more people you know, because at the beginning you barely know anyone. So plans don't form as fast as if you would be working for the company for a couple of years. So as soon as you get to know a couple of people, you always will meet up with somebody, and the sooner you can think about it, you've got your whole evening sorted out, which is brilliant. Lovely, 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 lovely. That is a good putt. Oh, that would have been par. No. All right, I think now it's time to go and take a nap. So to summarize it, I would say layovers can be anything. A quiet solo night in Calgary, up to an adventurous layover on the Maldives, Mauritius, Punta Cana or Orlando, you name it. And that's what I absolutely love about this job so much. It offers such a versatility, I think it's called. Yeah, let's just stick it here, otherwise I'll put the word in here. So yeah, it just gives you so much opportunity of things to do. Either you want to do them on your own or in a whole group. And that makes this job so special and unique. And every time things switch up and it's never the same. And that's what I absolutely love about being an airline pilot and flying long haul. So let's finish this round off. Last hole. That was a durchwachsene Runde, hey. Leute von heute, ich sag's euch. Freunde des Rasensports. All right, let's kick things up with one last good hit here. I have to finish because I want to have a nap. So I gotta finish after the 16 here. I hate driver. I mean, it's right down the middle, it's right there, but... Oh, damn! Right down the middle. That is nice. Just gonna hit it there. Oh, that's right at it. It's long! All right. Drive to the green. Now, I'm probably gonna need a wedge for this. It's right down there. So I've got around 4 hours to pick up now. I'm a bit tired right now. I decided that I'm gonna go and take a nap soon. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's a weird shot. Just put it down there. Roll. I'm happy with that one. Oh, I'm happy with that one. Golf is such an amazing sport. I love it. Boom. That was a nice par. Thank you very much. All right, time to take a nap.
This part of the rotation, the flight home, never really gets the spotlight. It's not exotic, it's not a first, no one's asking you about what we're doing next, and the layover stories have already been told. This is the part where the trip winds down and where the job becomes all about execution. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot going on technically. These return flights often happen at night, when the body clock is not exactly cheering on you. You're dealing with long duty hours, maybe a bit of accumulated fatigue from irregular rests, and you've got to be sharp, especially on long hauls like this one. Windhoek to Munich clocks in at nearly a 10-hour block time, followed by a commuting leg back to my base. It's a logistical stretch and it shows. The aircraft's heavy again, full of passengers heading home. Cargo in the belly, fuel planning becomes a bit more sensitive, especially with performance limitations at departure airports like Windhoek, where high elevation and rising temperatures can challenge your takeoff margins. That's something we double check well ahead of the briefing. Once you're airborne, things tend to settle, and you settle into what I always think of as the long haul rhythm. It's quite stable. You're running fuel checks, system scans, updating the FMC, checking CPTLC messages, doing your in-flight position broadcasting, and then you just cruise. You're not teaching, you're not managing an irregularity, you're just flying. There's a certain beauty in that, in just operating the aircraft precisely without the noise of novelty. You're managing your fatigue, coordinating with ATC, maybe making a strategic decision about step climbs or optimizing tracks over Central Africa or the Mediterranean. None of it's dramatic. It's just you and the machine, and a sense of flow that only comes from experience. I think that's why this leg often goes unnoticed. It doesn't look like much, but it's where all your routines, your standards and your professionalism really shows. No one's watching, no one's applauding, but you're still expected to deliver a flawless flight. That's what we train for. And if anything, this part of the job keeps you honest. And by the time you descend into Munich, or eventually back to Frankfurt, you feel it. Not just the physical weight of a long-haul flight, but the mental shift that happens. When the rotation ends, suddenly it's about re-entry into normal life, recharging, resetting. You go from managing a wide body and a crew over 2 continents, to wondering what's still fresh in the fridge at home.
But honestly, I think there's something grounding in these transitions, and the return shows that it's not just for the big moments, the crazy layovers, the sick cockpit views. It's the work. Consistent, professional, and sometimes underappreciated. But that's what satisfies me so much about this job. You close the loop, you bring the people home, and you know you're gonna do it soon again. With that said, see you soon in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.